I want it cool in here, so I have like some of the lights out. But okay, this will do. This will do.
All right.
Can you can see me, right? You good? You can see
Man,
me.
I've seen you everywhere you've been.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're
All right,
fine.
I'll be here.
Wherever you go, it's
Thank
fine
you.
for me. It's fine for me.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll let you get settled.
Okay.
We're going to have a good time. We're going to talk for about 35, 40 minutes.
Okay.
Usually,
Cool.
like right now, it's just about noon, so we'll go to about 12:40.
Okay. Cool.
So I'm going to introduce you in a moment. The way I introduce
Okay.
you is I'll set the table that you are on my show and let people know how
Okay.
they need to follow and listen. And I want to make sure you let everybody know once we get ready to close out how they can stay connected with you. Check out
Okay.
your
Cool.
designs because you have some oh so fab designs.
Thank you. Thank you.
You said, I remember when we met last year at the SpongeBob red carpet. And
Yes, SpongeBob.
yes, his 20th birthday. Was it 20th birthday for
I think
SpongeBob?
it was. I think
Yeah,
it was something like that. It was
yeah,
his birthday.
it was definitely for the adults though. It wasn't for the kids.
Yeah.
SpongeBob.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, she has such a wonderful personality. She's beautiful. I was like, man,
Thank you.
we were in line together getting ready to go on the red carpet or the blue carpet.
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
So I'm going to go ahead and set the table so everybody can get ready to eat some of this meal we get ready to serve them.
No, that's right.
Yes.
Yes.
So, everyone, I want to thank you all for logging on, for listening. You are watching RDC Speak Life Sessions. You can follow on Spotify, subscribe on Apple. Make sure you like, share, and let other people know about the podcast. You'll be able to view this interview once again on my YouTube page at Rodney Damon Collins TV. I have a very special guest with me today. She is a very, very famous person. She has accomplished a lot. And she didn't seek fame. Fame came because of her hard work and her passion. She is a celebrity fashion designer.
Thank
is
you.
an actor, an actor, which I love saying that we are actors. We are thespians.
Yes.
We love the arts.
Exactly.
Incredible. Look at this smile. We're going to talk. She is taking Hollywood by storm, and not just Hollywood, but the entire country, and not just the country, but the entire world by storm with her designs. Without further ado, show some love for my guest, Leontine Abdullah.
Hey, hey y'all. Hey.
So you're looking good today. And
thank you.
So how's your morning been? Since
my morning, oh wow, it's been amazing. It's been great. I got up this morning, did my yoga, feel refreshed. So I'm loving the breeze outside. When I walked through, I was like, wow, it's a nice breeze out there. I wish I could be hanging outside.
For real. It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful. And just like I said, you inspired me this morning. Even though we're at home, I was like, I'm still doing the show. So I have to. I want to represent it. So I said, man,
I know that's right.
And I was like, I got to impress. I got to impress her. I just, basic white tee, but, nice.
Yeah. You know what?
Yes.
That's actually how I like for, a guy to wear that. A lot of people think it's buttoned down. It's not always buttoned down. It depends on your personality. Really? But this is the way I dress my clients, with the blazer. I tell them to wear a tee with it,
Really?
Yeah, and tennis shoes, because that's the new,
I hope
I'm old school. Yeah, I'm old school, and I'm into, I'm old school hip hop. So I love, the look with the blazer and the tennis shoes. So, hey,
That's what I'm looking like, man. I got on some ripped jeans.
Okay.
I just got on some white footies right now because I'm in the
house. Okay, that's cool. Look, I'm barefoot.
But
no heels today.
I'm looking forward to becoming one of your clients in the very, very near future. Yes, because I like what you do. And with you being a fashion designer, we're going to talk about your acting as well, because I think that helps set the stage for what you do. But when did you develop a passion for fashion? Oh, I just made that rhyme. When did you develop a passion for fashion?
You know what? Everybody always asks me this, and it's my mother. when I was a little girl, I used to fall asleep to that sound of the sewing machine because my mother sewed for everybody in our community. So every night she would be up late night making her patterns with her newspaper and, her pattern blocks and
Yeah.
stuff. And she'd be sewing, knitting, everything. And I would just hear that sound of the sewing machine and I'm all night. So I would fall asleep to that sound and I would stay up with her late nights too. And so that's where I learned how to create the blocks for the basic block for a pattern for a shirt or a skirt or a pant, pattern. So all the basic blocks for a pattern that I needed to create, I have them in my head and I can just pretty much, once I have your measurements, I can go there and just create it.
Okay, all right. What was your
Yeah.
first design that you made? I'm curious.
A tutu.
A
A
tutu.
tutu skirt.
Really?
Yeah, because I was a little girl.
Uh-huh.
I was about like six
Uh-huh.
years old, and I made my own tutu. I knew how to cut it out. I knew how to hand baste it because my mother would not allow me to use a sewing machine at the time, even though I was sneaking using the sewing machine when I wasn't supposed to. But I learned how to make that basic block for a skirt. So I cut it out. And then she also showed me how to run elastic through the waistline of it. So I ran my own elastic through there, with the little pin, and then closed it off with a hand baste. And that was my tutu. I knew how to put all the different colors of the tulle together to create that look that I wanted. I wanted that little Cinderella look because I was a ballerina back then in the Girl Scouts. So I had to make a skirt, so I made me a nice, colorful skirt. And to this day, I'm always thinking of like, I got to redo that skirt, but as an adult, as a dress.
At the age of 6.
Yes.
Okay. Prodigy in the house.
Yes.
Rhonda says, hello, how are you? So
hello, darling. How are you? I'm fine. Thank you.
And everyone watching, feel free to ask questions. Leontine is an incredible fashion designer. So with us being kind of locked in right now, this is the perfect time to get your wardrobe together, get all the fits you need to be so fab, because if you're in the house, you still got to look good.
That's right.
I believe
that's right.
I haven't been one of those dudes walking around like, oh, I'm just in the house, I'm going to let myself go.
Oh, no. Everything still got to coordinate for me. It's like, I don't care, the pajamas, the t-shirt with the shorts, everything has to coordinate. And then I'm putting my hair up in some type of a bun because that's just me. Yes. That's me personally. Everybody's different, but for me, fashion is well-rounded for me. It's something within me. It's not, and it's something I was born to do.
Yes.
I didn't choose it. It chose me, like you said. And that is just something that will always be there in my heart and spirit, I hope, to the day I die.
I think it's etched in there. Alana just asked, where can I go to get the custom designs? So
you can come to Baldwin Hills and get you some custom designs. Leontine, you just got to call me. Hit me up in my DM. Now, I'm by appointment only.
Now, what if I don't live in LA? How can I get to you?
Well, I have a website, but I also have a new website that I'm creating. I just developed House of Leontine, so I have a new website that I actually was supposed to launch when I go to Paris in September. Now, when I did, well, I'm not going now because of what's going on in the world. We have no idea when fashion weeks are closed, because LA Fashion Week, I was supposed to do LA Fashion Week on, I believe it was March the 14th, but 2 days before the show, they hit us up and let us know that because of this pandemic, we're shutting down and there will be a lockdown. So that is why we have no clue. So this new website, basically it's going to have ready to wear clothing, for men and women. And it's going to be from sportswear, swimwear, couture wear. There'll be some of my favorite looks couture wise, because I'll still have custom clients because I have clients all over the world. I custom design for clients all over the world. I get their measurements and everything and, create their look and do their fitting via mail and all that jazz. Yes. But I only take like so many. I don't take a whole lot for that. But this ready to wear will be out and ready to go just as soon as this pandemic's over, As soon as everything gets back, well, I know it's not going to be to normal. It's going to be a new normal, but it's a trying time right now. So I'm just praying for everyone and the families, and it's just so sad, everybody, that the lives that were lost because of this. So you can't even wrap your mind around opening up or when something's going to take place. You just have to kind of just every day be thankful for every day
Yes.
that we're here.
And when you talk about that, it just makes me think also about our essential workers, our frontline workers, and just we just appreciate each and every one of them. And just want to take a second to acknowledge everybody who's fighting the war for us.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
With that being said, is there any way that the fashion industry can do like virtual type fashion shows for people to?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I was curious.
You know what? I was thinking about that because when some people keep asking me, and myself and other friends of mine, models, they want to know about the shows, and it's all up in the air because we have no clue. We're just hoping and wishing and praying that first and foremost that everyone's okay, that we all can survive this because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how big this thing is going to get. And we just hope that we're able to survive it. And once we do, if it's no time soon, there are going to be virtual shows. And the way I see it is like right here in this office, I can show my collection right here on live. And, and it doesn't even necessarily, there's so many things even with TikTok or whatever, even if I want to do the show myself, because, I'm modeling myself and wear every piece and then, film it. And I see that happening. I see that can happen also with models, bringing a few models in or bringing a couple in, just like how Tyler Perry is doing his thing with trying to get the people to actually live there for a few weeks. So that way they can, once he's sure that everybody's okay and they're well and they're not ill, then I see that that's something that can happen.
I've already told them I'm willing to go live on his studio.
Shoot, you know what? I am too. Yeah, I'm like,
hey,
holla at you, girl.
Go ahead and book me, and I'm ready to roll.
Okay, I am too.
I don't need to go nowhere.
Okay.
I'm here to work. So I don't need to go nowhere. I just need to go to studio.
Okay. I put on my hazmat suit and be right on out there.
When we go have to tag Tyler on this, like, yo, we ready. I'm gonna tag you.
Thank you. Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
Somebody has just commented and said, what about a mass fashion show? Like, has this prompted you to make some creative masks or anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
When they first told us that we were going to have to wear masks, because see, for one of my shows, actually, the one in Paris, there's some hats that I've created, and it has the, with the net, and it goes all around here, and it covers up the eye. Yes. You've seen it before, like from the 40s and the 50s. So I was already thinking, and we already had masks on the runway, but it wasn't for this. It was just for fashion. So I was thinking, that would be really nice because I am into jewels and everything blinging and all that stuff. If and when I do, because I have been working on other projects right now. So if and when I do create masks, especially if this thing prolongs, they won't be your ordinary masks. They will be blinged out. They will be jeweled. They will have things hanging. They'll be, the regulatory. They'll be, the right ones on the inside, but on that outside shell, they're going to be banging. Yeah.
I have no doubt that they're gonna be live. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, cause we've kind of been rolling through some of the stuff I sent. You were on Bridezilla's. What was that? 2015, right? Season
2018.
2018.
Yeah, 18. Yeah.
What? Give us some memorable moments, one or two really moments that kind of stick with you from your time with Bridezilla's.
Well, you know what? I have to say, filming Bridezilla's was really fun because, like I mentioned before, I filmed with a friend of mine, Lolly White, from Preacher's Daughters, from, Lifetime Preacher's Daughters.
Yes.
So we really had fun. It was like someone there that I knew that I was there to create a dress for. So I had a wonderful time. Yeah. We laughed, we played. There were so many different days that we filmed. We didn't know what time. It was just they call us and we come wherever we at. Stop what you're doing and come on, get to set. So, the most memorable, the fun part, the really, really fun part was that bachelorette party. Because we had, the guy from the stripper Jamaica from Chocolate City. Yeah. He was there, King Jamaica. Yeah, and it was so real. Everything was real. They didn't show all this, but we went through the whole bachelorette party and they filmed everything. And of course, they can't show it all on TV, but it was just so much fun. Like the girls that were there, I actually got to have so much fun with these women.
Yes.
It were like we were in high school and we just lived our life. They just rode camera and we just did our thing. And I was able to let myself go and have fun and just be in the moment, live in the moment, because the young lady that was getting married, it was a real marriage. So she's there, enjoying herself, having a nice time. And then Lolly's there, and Lolly is like the life of the party. So, it was just, I just couldn't believe when it was my turn for the stripper. And then I knew I showed it. He came and I'm thinking, okay, well, this is going to be some stuff. And when he got butt naked, I was like, oh, okay, right in front of me and pulled me up to do. I was like, okay. I said, like I wasn't ready for all this. Y'all didn't tell me this. I'm like, I'm over in the PG-13 section. They drink. I don't drink and they drink. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. But it was really fun. I had a wonderful time. Everybody was nice.
Yes.
The film crew, everyone was nice. The bride, the other girls that were on set. Mm-hmm. And I think I would have to say also is the booty boot camp. We had fun in booty boot camp.
Booty
it was
boot?
An actual gym. Booty boot camp. We had to go to the gym and get ourselves in shape. We had to go. So at the gym, we had so much fun, all the jokes and the back and forth, with Lolly and the young lady and just sitting there. I'm just laughing because I love to laugh. So I'm there just laughing at everything. And at the same time, trying to do the routine, so it was really nice. It was fun. I mean, the camera guys were laughing too, because we were just being ourselves,
Are these episodes still available to be
viewed? Yeah. I was actually going to post some because I actually, I didn't even watch it until like almost a year later. Really? And then I was just getting the clips that people would send me, I would just post them. But I actually watched it sometime last year and I said, you know what, I got to film some of this because it's really good. They left out a lot of the parts that I really wanted them to show. But the parts that I love, I'm just going to post them up and, everybody just have a ball with them.
Yeah. That's what I love about you. It's like so fun. Like we started talking about TV and you're on a TV show and you started acting a long time ago.
Yes.
What did fashion kind of go with your acting? Is that what made you decide you wanted to act or was it vice versa? Which one was it?
Actually, no. When I was 18 months old, someone approached my mom.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, put her on camera. She could be an extra. She can get work and get paid all this money, which, they did pay a lot. I think they paid even more back in the 70s.
Yeah.
So, because you didn't have to have all these, like you didn't have to be a part of SAG. You didn't have to, all that type of stuff.
Right.
So we would go to set. I would be on set pretty much all day. And I would, collect these big checks as a baby at 18 months old. And then even my younger brother, Leon, he would too. Oh. So we would get roles like my brother Leon, like he got a role in Jaws, I don't know what number, but he was one of the black kids that were there because, this is the 70s. So, and just like myself, like with Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I'm on the bus, I'm in that bus scene and I'm like one of the black girls and I'm in the scene where they're enrolling in school. And it was just so much fun. Like I did a lot of shows. I did Rodney Dangerfield's Where's Rodney when he had that show. It didn't last long, but he had it. I think it was like one season. So I was on that show as an extra in that show. I did LA Law. I don't know if you remember LA. LA Law.
That's what made me go to law school for a year. LA Law.
And oh wow! And Fuzz Bucket. Have you ever heard of a little movie called Fuzz Bucket?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
All right.
You gotta Google that. Fuzz Bucket. I was on there too. It's just so many things. Commercials. Like there was a in the 70s Romper Room. Have you heard of Romper? What else? All kinds of stuff. Like the McDonald's commercials, 7-Up, everything.
I'm
like
it.
I was just so. For us back then, it was no big deal. Oh, Punky Brewster, episodes of Punky Brewster as a student.
Oh, wow.
Just, like, because it wasn't for myself, and being honest, there weren't a lot of black kids that were cast.
Right.
There weren't a lot of black extras. You was either the black girl or one of the black girls, for whatever scene or role. So as a little girl in the 70s and then in the 80s, all this stuff. Even one of the Michael J. Fox, one of his sitcoms.
Was it
shows.
Family Ties?
I don't know if it might have been Family Ties. I can't remember, but it was just so many. you know, because here I am 48 years later, well, about to be 49. So I'm like, wow, you know, those
Wait,
things for me
wait, what did you just say? You're about to be what? You look,
in August 3rd.
you look great. You look great.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So for myself, just thinking back to how it was back then and then getting a few speaking roles too. So that was good for me.
Yes.
And just coming up, to a teenager. By the time I got to a teenager, in high school, I went to Crenshaw High. My mother was getting calls the night before. My agent was like, "Oh, play a, can she play a cop? Can she play a student? Can she play this?" And if it was a role that I could play, um, hey, my mama would agree, and I
Yes.
would be on set with the other student because you had to have school on set,
Yes.
and I would miss a lot of days of school, but we would be, you know, schooling on set, so it was like fun.
Oh yeah.
And it's a part of my life that I'm like, wow. And everybody's like, you need to do that, do that, because, you know, you are just your true self. And I do like that. But to be honest with you,
Yes.
being self-taught, you know, like as a designer,
Yes.
like I can see something and recreate that something. If I sit down and do it, I can recreate that something.
Mm-hmm.
And there are things that, you know, like I create my own pattern.
Okay.
I create them. And then what I also do is I drape.
Really?
Like I'll take a mannequin, you know, a dress form. They call it a
Yes.
dress form. And then you get your fabric and then you create. Some people use muslin. If it's something with a lot of technique, I'll use the muslin, create the pattern from the muslin.
Okay.
But if it's something like an evening gown for myself, because I know a lot of people, I used to post a lot of videos. I've taken a lot of them down, you know, and I archive them, but I will create a look before I leave the house. And that's my thing. I've been doing that since I was a teenager. And people are like, how do you do this? Because I've been doing it. It's just natural for me. Like if there's an award show, I'll get my clients ready like that month before and the weeks before, the days before, and the day of.
Yes.
Sometimes I end up the night before or the morning of at 3 a.m. creating my look.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah. And then sometimes it may not be completely finished, but I'll go and it looks like it is to you. It may look like it is to you.
Uh-huh.
Then sometimes it is, you know, depending upon because I like to go with that technique and start flowing, creating all these different variations. I'm like, girl, you don't have that kind of time. Just do something simple, you know, and get out of here.
Yes.
But, you know. Mm-hmm.
So when I am preparing to go receive my award at an award show,
Yes.
how much notice do you need from me before I need to, you know, get an outfit for you from you?
It depends. If you want something couture, you know, because I used to take people so last minute till it was killing me.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people weren't grateful for that. You know, there's a lot of people that I did things for in this industry that they were just not. And I don't mean that they're supposed to kiss my feet and kiss my behind.
Right.
But what I'm saying is when you call me a day before a show and then I get some things together for you, you know, at least act appreciative to it.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this because there were so many people over the years that did this to me and still try to. So I have a new rule now. And if I know you, if we cool, it's all good. You know, if something and you don't need anything couture, if I have a suit already, I'll loan it to you, I'll lend it to you, or you can buy it. But if it's something you want and it's custom made and it's a simple, like the type of blazer that you're wearing now, just give me a couple weeks notice. Just give me a couple weeks, you know, because I want to make it custom fit to you. You know, and then also if I'm not busy, because sometimes I'm booked and most of the times I'm booked and busy. So I'm picking and choosing what it is that I want to do, you know, for my clients and for the people.
Well, I had to get in that question because I have to be prepared because it's coming.
All right.
It's coming, so I have to be ready for that.
Okay,
so,
cool.
If you were to tell somebody else who wanted to become a fashion designer, your journey has happened so it's just organically. It seems like things just came to you naturally. How would you tell somebody to get involved into this industry? What steps would they need to take?
Okay. I would say, honestly, whether they're self-taught or someone who went to school, if this is something that you truly want to do, because designing is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. We are artists, just like someone who, you know, just like Michelangelo or anyone else. We are artists and we have to be in our creative mind and we have to visualize what it is that we're creating. So we need to have all this creative energy flowing around us all the time, you know, when we're trying to create. So you have to put negative people to the side, you know, there's a lot of them. And most of them, unfortunately, can be family.
Yeah.
So if you have people who are your friends and your family, and they're telling you, well, they're negative toward what you're doing, because it happened with me, unfortunately. I had a lot of people, friends and family, who were telling me that, well, it costs a lot of money to do this, and it takes a lot of time, and you're not going to be able to do that. And, I haven't heard of many Black designers, which is a lie, because, unfortunately, in the time I grew up in, there was still a lot of, there's racism now, but there was still so much in the 70s and in the 80s. And they're telling me that just because I don't see a Black face, I started doing my research. And what I did was I researched the designers, and I would go look into their lives and see the type of things that they did.
Yes.
And like what I want to say to these students, or to the people who want to become a designer, or who are a designer but maybe having a hard time at it, you have to find your time.
Yes.
Find your time, isolate yourself from people, do things that relax you and center you. My thing is yoga. Going to get a pedicure, a massage, things like that. Because you have to focus yourself, so that way you can go back to your drawing table or your room or your studio, and you have to create and design. You can't have people over your shoulder. You can't have people standing over you, watching you and telling you what to do. You can't be on the phone. You have to sit down and you have to think about what it is you want to do. Because some people might just want to create and design evening gowns.
Yeah.
Some people might just want to design bathing suits. But me, I do everything. It depends on, I do whatever I feel like, or whatever my client requests. If I can do it, I'll do it. And most things I usually can, because I'm into shoes. I create clutch purses, shoes, and all types of stuff. But my thing to them is, you have to really want it, and you have to sit down and focus and talk to God about it. If you believe in God, talk to God about it first.
Yeah.
Because, I know it's a lot of people don't believe in God, and that's unfortunate. Yeah. And I feel, I pity them. But what I'm saying is, sit down with yourself, write in a journal. Okay. I write in a journal all the time. A long time ago in the 80s, Oprah said, write in a journal, on her show. And I started doing that ever since then, never stopped. You can't do it every day. I know we get busy, but do it sometimes when your day ends at night. I like to sit down and, jot down ideas, anything in my journal, because you want to reflect years from now. What did you do on this day back in October or in March or April or May? And you want to see how you've elevated, and you want to see how you evolve, because the only way you're going to evolve as a designer is if you just sit down and focus.
Okay.
You have to focus.
Man, you said so much in there. You had a lot of great nuggets. And it was like what you said kind of gave us a perfect segue into like my next question for you was, because dealing with the negativity and keeping people out of your circle who are not for you. And that involves having a belief system or a mantra that you have to really subscribe to every day. Like I tell everybody, my mantra, I have one that says "Leave on E." And I got that from listening to one of my favorite inspirational, motivational speakers, E.T., the hip hop preacher, Eric Thomas. Oh. That's my dude. He's like one of the top speakers in the world. He was speaking several years ago, and in his speech, he kept saying, "Leave on E. Leave on the E." I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, what is he talking about? And he finally broke it down about leaving on empty. Leaving this life completely empty of every God-given gift you have. That's a responsibility we have. So that's one of my mantras. That's one of my drives. That's what pushes me every single day. That I'm leaving this world empty. The cemetery will not be rich off of my dreams, off of my goals. I'm not making the cemetery rich. What's your mantra?
You know what? My mantra, well, first of all, let me start by my faith. I was born and raised Muslim. My parents are Muslim, and I was born and raised in Muslim, went to Muslim school till I was in the 7th grade. Okay. So, coming from that faith, I have been taught that on this earth, you have a gift. Everybody has a gift, and we have our talents, but we also have a calling. And I believe that, my gift are many things, like, singing, dancing, designing, all those things were natural gifts that were given to me. But I also know that within those gifts, I have a calling. Yes. And we don't necessarily know what that calling is. My calling may have absolutely nothing to do with fashion. I believe in my heart that my calling is to have fashion brands worldwide, because my mantra is, hey, the woman is a gift and should be presented as such. And I would always hear, older men would say that, like, you're a gift, you're a gift, and you should present yourself as that. And so those are the things that I carry with me till this day, because we are, as human beings, we're gifts to the world. And we have to show our gifts and represent our gifts in our true nature.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very powerful, very powerful. It's
Yeah.
inspiring because I do believe, you are a gift. And
Thank you.
women are a gift, and it keeps your drive going. It's your why. It's
Mm-hmm.
for every single day you get up, because I'm pretty sure there's certain days where you be like, man, I'm
Yeah.
struggling a little bit. So you got to have that thing
Exactly.
to push you. You got to have things to push you
Mm-hmm.
and drive you every single morning. So I have affirmations that are in my journal as well. So I keep
Mm-hmm.
them close to my heart. You know,
Yeah.
what do you like to do? What's one of the fun things you like to do? Because you smile, and you always smile.
You know what? The thing about it is, and I'm a fire sign born in the summertime. So thing about it is I love the outdoors.
Yes.
I love to, I love swimming.
Yeah.
I love roller skating. I grew up in the 70s, so we were all roller skating to death all up and down the street.
Yeah.
So I love roller skating. I love to, double dutch, jump rope when I can.
Yes.
I love just dancing. Like I'm a natural, well, my mama put me in dance classes, but I'm a natural, dancer.
Okay.
I was skilled in ballet, skilled in modern jazz. And, I started tap, but I didn't finish because I wanted to do drums. So, it was just so much going on. And at the same time while acting. But I love to do those things. I love to do outdoorsy things. I'm an outside person and walking. Like I walk 6 miles a day when it's even,
Wow.
I try to do in the house pacing the floor about 3, in the day, because you have your little step thingy and it tells you how many steps you've taken. But on the street, before the day has even started, like before it's even 10 o'clock, I've already done 6 miles.
Wow.
And
Okay.
Yep. And I have this thing called a daily fitness motivation. In my stories, I posted every single morning. I didn't post one this morning, but because I've been kind of busy doing some stuff. But every day when we were out in the outside world, I post daily fitness motivations where you're gonna see either my workout or you're gonna see a workout. You're gonna see a workout that's good for you, and then you're gonna see also how to eat right. Because I'm more plant-based now.
Yes.
I'm more holistic. I don't eat meat as much as I used to. I'm turning vegan.
Okay.
And I haven't even, I don't even really eat meat anymore, There are days, like maybe once out of a week, I might have a piece of turkey bacon with my breakfast. And then I won't eat much of it because it doesn't feel right anymore, when I do it. So I'm like, okay, I can't eat the meat.
Yes.
But I'm trying to teach people and myself, because this is for myself too, those daily affirmations, they're for me.
Yes.
I'm just sharing it with the world, but they're really for me too. I'm like, hey, you got to get this kale in you, you got to get this spinach in you, and you got to get all this stuff. If you want to stay healthy and on the inside, like trying to look on the outside, you got to be, thriving on the inside as well.
Yes.
Those organs and the just everything going on inside your body, that energy too, and going back to that negative energy, you got to keep that outside negative energy, from entering your eyes, your nose, your ears, all of that, your mouth, meaning just taking it all in. And that's not just with the air we breathe, that's with people, just people around, because we all have auras. We all have auras where we can, when you get around people, you know how you feel when you get around a certain person and you don't know why you feel that way, but sometimes, the aura is just it's not right. And it's not, maybe the spirit is a little bad at the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going through something. Maybe they're being mean for some reason and it's bothering you.
Yeah.
So we have to be mindful of people. And like I said before, it don't matter who it is. Your mother, brother, sister, father, auntie, cousin, lover, friend, anybody, whoever it is, you have to be responsible for your dome and your temple. This is your temple, your body. So you have to be mindful of, what am I putting in my temple? What am I allowing? If people can't respect you, they got to go.
Yeah.
And I had to teach myself this, because people will wear you down.
Yeah.
They will drag you down. They will drain you mentally. And then you're wondering why you don't feel good and you can't finish a project because you just allowed somebody to fill your head with all this negativity. And like I said, it don't matter who it is. Sometimes we have to put people to the side. We have to let them sit to the side and say, hey, you know what? Now is not the time. Or, you know what? You have a good day, but I'm busy right now. I have to go. And then when they're talking about something positive, then you can come back and talk to me. But when you're talking about all this negative stuff, I got to get going. I can't.
Man.
I got to get going.
You're just dropping it. With pursuing our passions, our dreams, and goals in life, there's a saying that the worst enemy is the inner me. And it's like everything you said is so key because it talks about really combating that daily. What would you say would be one of the biggest hurdles that you've seen through your pursuit of building your business, building your brand throughout the world?
But like you just said, believe it in myself.
Mm-hmm.
I would allow people, you know, because I have 5 children, 3 girls, 2 boys. I had my kids, my first one at 20. Yeah, so I had all my kids. They were like pretty much stair-step, like 2 years apart. So, except for the first 2.
Yes.
So when I had my children in my 20s, I still had my dreams because I knew what I wanted to become. I was modeling professionally from 13 all the way up to like 18 or 19, you know. So once, you know, I decided, you know, I met my kid's father and we had the kids, it was like listening to all these negative people telling me, because I told them I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I am going to be a millionaire and possibly a billionaire someday.
Yes.
I am going to create fashion lines for women all over the world. I'm going to design red carpet gowns. I'm going to walk the red carpet. I'm going to do that. Everything I told these people that I was going to do back when I was in my 20s,
yes,
I'm doing that right now.
Yes.
And they told me it was not going to happen. Number one, because I was Black. And that was the saddest thing. Anybody can tell you this.
Yeah.
You know, and number two, well, who gonna, you know, they not gonna let you on any red carpets. And what celebrities are you gonna dress? And you know, it was just so many. Yeah, and what type of business are you gonna run? It costs a lot of money to run a business. How you gonna run a business? And I'm saying to myself the same way everybody else do. Believe in yourself. So by putting it into me and writing it in that journal, because they say you got to write it down and make it plain. And it didn't matter if I had a dime, because to begin with, I did not have a dime.
Right.
You know, I had to put the right energy out there to create what it is that I wanted to manifest. And that's what people don't realize is, you know, we let our friends and our families and people we don't even know tell us, like sometimes even with females, you know, and just as an example, let's just say, for instance, as a female, if I'm getting ready to go somewhere and I have girlfriends there with me, we're all getting ready.
Yeah.
And I say, well, what do you think about this? I never do this. This ain't me.
Yeah.
I'm not that chick. But there are females out there that do this because I'm very confident in who I am. My father taught me to be that way. God rest his soul. But females will ask another female, well, should I wear this? How does this look? And another female will tell them, that don't look right. Don't wear that. And it looks good.
Yes.
And I'm looking, saying to myself, really? You just told her not to wear that because it looks good. And you don't want to see her look better than you possibly. So my thing is, stop listening to people. People don't tell you anything. They will tell you not to do something just because they don't know how to do it or can't do it right. So you have to start believing in what God put into you. All those dreams he instilled in you, the good dreams, those vibes. When you were like 5 years old, you knew what you wanted to be. We all did. What do we say? I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a dancer. I want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
We say these things because guess what? God is giving them to us, feeding it to us while we're sleeping.
Right.
He's feeding it to us when we're out visualizing the world and we see something that triggers and go, oh, wow, look at that ballerina. I want to be that.
Yeah.
Or look at that designer. Well, for me, I'm sitting down watching Mahogany as a little girl.
All right.
And I'm saying to myself, my mama so.
Yeah.
I'm like, here's a black lady on TV. So it wasn't no black people on TV, really? And I'm looking at this woman. I'm looking at my favorite, Diana Ross. And I'm saying to myself, if she can do it, I can do it.
Yes.
And I'm like, I told myself that every day almost. Even on my worst days, I chanted the same thing. You're going to become this.
Yes.
You're going to have this. You're going to be an entrepreneur. You're going to be a billionaire one day. You're going to have all types of fashion houses, and you're going to have clothing lines worldwide for men, women, and children. And this is going to be your mark that you're going to leave on this earth and this planet. And I feel that in my soul because I dreamed it.
Yes. I feel you because that's how I knew that acting was more than just a hobby for me. When I was young, I knew I wanted to act. I used to make my friends, I used to coordinate our play. That's how serious it would get. They were like, dude, you don't need all that. I wrote my first sketch comedy as a senior in high school. These are things I knew that I wanted to do. But I knew coming up where I came up, it wasn't fully accepted to do that. So I kind of kept it in for so long. Because I was more concerned about outside influences than what was inside of me, what God had put me to do. But I would say at this point in my life, I'm probably the happiest and the most fulfilled professionally that I've ever been. And I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank
Every
you.
single day to me is Friday. When people talk to me and they get all excited about Friday, I'll be like, man, it's just another day. I was like,
Thank you.
every day's
It's the
Friday.
same here.
Every day's Friday. I do what I love.
Every day is Friday for us. Yeah. And you're right. You know, you knew what you wanted to be. It was instilled in you. And I'll say this too, when you say you would put those plays and stuff together. When I was a little girl, the house that I grew up in had this big lemon tree in the back. It was a huge backyard.
Yes.
And I would make plays. I would put on plays in the neighborhood. You remember the Dick and Jane books?
Yes.
Well, I would take lines from the Dick and Jane, and we would repeat those lines. And I would be dressing everybody, and I would do all the costumes. And I look back at all that, and I say, why would I listen to what somebody else told me when I did this as a little girl and didn't even know that this was fashion design? I didn't even know I was costume designing as a little girl.
Yes.
Making money as an entrepreneur, charging people. I charged them 25 cents
Yes.
for children and 35 cents for adults to get in the neighborhood. And I'm saying to myself, girl, you are an entrepreneur, you know, so stop listening to people.
Yes.
People will tell you anything. Most people miserable anyway. So, you know, unfortunately, until they get it right with themselves and God.
I tell everybody that when they try to figure out, because, you know, I'm a certified life coach too, and I use all my experience. I'm like, when you're trying to figure out what you want to do professionally, look at your gifts.
Thank you.
The Bible is so clear that your gifts make room for you. And that's what I subscribe to. Yeah, I hold to that. My gifts make room for me. So I look at that. Whatever I have, whatever I can, like, I'm very good at communicating. I'm very good at listening to people. That's how I know I'm a good actor. I can be a good coach. I'm a good speaker because I know how to do those things. I even know how to sing a little bit. I ain't going to do that on this show.
I know that's right.
I
know that's right.
You know, I can say that. That's say. I got to say that. But
yeah,
we are getting close. We got about 4 minutes left, and then we have to wrap up. This time went so quick. Saying what's up to my man Santino. Good to see you, man. This is the young man that I've known for a long time. I used to mentor him. He's in Cleveland, Ohio, and he just jumped on. He said, "Happy to see you happy." So, so we're going to connect tomorrow. We're going to talk on the phone. That's what I love about social media, being able to reconnect. But if you were to leave our audience with some food, like something that they can really take and marinate on over the next 5-6 days, while we're still dealing with this pandemic and the lockdown situation, what wisdom can you speak to the audience to really spur them on to say, hey, it's going to be okay?
Well, the good part about that question is we're already in isolation. We're already on lockdown. Isolate yourself. Go into a room by yourself. Turn off the TV. Turn off the radio. Get where it's quiet. I don't care where it is. It could be a closet, because my place used to be a closet. And this is the honest to God truth.
Yes.
Go into that closet. Sit in the dark if you can. Some people don't like the dark. Sit in the dark and close your eyes and talk to God. Tell God what it is that you want. Tell God what you would like to see manifested. And then you know what? When you come out that room and out that closet, go sit down with a pen and paper and write it down and make it plain.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, if you do this, you will see it manifest. People think, I have things that I've written down that I've shown people I've written down years ago. I have told people my dream, people that grew up with me and know. They see me today and go, wow, you said you was going to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Like, it's crazy.
Yes.
So it is the honest to God truth, because, honey, when you put it out there in the universe, it's going to come your way. It's like karma. Yeah. Karma is good or bad. You put that energy out that you want to receive back. Okay. So sit down somewhere and write it down and talk to God about it. Believe.
Now, how can people stay connected with you? Because I know you're on social media. You got the website. Everybody knows how to connect. I know you have a lot of people pulling on you for designs and stuff like that. But some people who watch this interview, who are going to listen to it, they're going to want to check you out too. So what can they do?
You can go to leontinecollection.com, or you can go to my Instagram at Leontine Abdullah or Leontine Collection.
Yes.
You can also go to my Facebook at Leontine Abdullah or Leontine Collection.
You hear that? Make sure you listen to that. I have been having an incredible conversation with the wonderful, marvelous fashion designer, actress, Leontine Abdullah. And I just want to thank
Yay!
you so much for your time today. This is RDC Speak Life Sessions. You can listen
And
to the
thank you for
broadcast
having
again.
me.
Oh, you know. And we're going to do it again as we continue to do
Yes.
this, prepare for other stuff happening. This is what I like to do. I like to speak life to people because that's the only way to really encourage people to move forward in their life.
Exactly.
Words are so powerful. So
That's true.
I want to make sure everybody, you subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, follow, like, share, rate this podcast. You will be able to watch the broadcast again if you like to. It will be on my YouTube channel, Rodney Damon Collins TV. We thank you very much for joining us, and we love y'all. And I always close out with these three things that everybody should be doing. Always remember this: love God, love yourself, and love people. And you have a beautiful life. You have a beautiful life.
Yes.
And with that being said, we love y'all, and until we meet again, peace.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Peace.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.